What's good, nation? We're back for round two. Today we're gonna make one of my favorite dishes that I used to make a lot on a hot summer day especially. We're gonna do what's called a Mexican style shrimp cocktail. I know there's tons of different ways to do this, and trust me, I've tried them all. This is one of my favorite dishes that my grandma and my family's passed on to us. So now I'm gonna pass it on to you guys and tell you, how we make it. Unfortunately, we don't put no ketchup in ours. I've gone to Mexico actually and had theirs down there, and everyone swears that that's the way they do it. In some places they do actually use a lot of ketchup, but I've had it actually where it's just straight shrimp broth and vegetables, and it's yummy either way. But I'm gonna show you how I do it. So first thing we're gonna do, start off, I got some shrimp here. So you want to kind of make sure it's thawed out. Usually it comes in the frozen bags. I'm going to use about 1.5 pounds of shrimp, and I got the bigger ones because nothing tastes better than having nice big shrimp. I don't like the little baby ones. So first thing you want to do when you get these is you want to grab the tail here. We're going to make sure that these are pushed out and they're deveined. So we're going to push, squeeze, and then all you got to do from there is just pull. And if you notice, I got the shell. I'm gonna keep the shell. I'm gonna put that in a little pot here. And what that shell is gonna do is we're gonna utilize everything on the shrimp. So I'm gonna use that to make a nice little shrimp stock that we're gonna use to put inside the actual cocktail itself. So it gives it that full flavor. So actually, I'm gonna take some minutes here and do this, and we'll be right back with you.
Thanks for watching Chef Mike. If you like what you see, like and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to share with your family and friends.
All right, we're back. As you can see, we got all this nice shrimp cleaned. The one thing you want to make sure with these shrimp, and I know the bag said peeled and deveined or whatever, but a lot of times that vein's still in there, and that's the bad stuff you don't want in the shrimp. That's all the bad stuff. I'm just gonna leave it at that. So you want to make sure that's out of it. So every time you do this, kind of make sure you wash them out, make sure they're clean, because there's nothing worse than chewing into that. That's horrible. So now I got all my shrimp shells sitting in here. As you can see, awesome. This is what we're going to use to make the flavor. So before I do that, I'm going to grab some ground shrimp. This is going to help elevate the flavor. I want as much shrimp flavor as possible. I can't stand when I have a shrimp cocktail and it doesn't taste like nothing. So I'm going to add about a teaspoon or so of this in here. That's going to give it some good flavor. Like I said, you can't hurt it by adding more. It's not like it's going to over flavor. It's just adding shrimp flavor. So then we're gonna go over here, we're gonna put in about 2 cups. Well, actually, I'm gonna do about 3 cups of water. The reason I'm gonna do that is because I want this thing to kind of go down and reduce really good and get all that flavor out of the shrimp. So I'm gonna mix this up, and then we're gonna go over to the stove and check this out. All right, now we're gonna get the stove here. Oh yeah, we're gonna kick that up on high. We're gonna let this cook. And like I said, while this is cooking, we're gonna chop all our vegetables up, but I wanna get as much flavor as possible out of this. And this is a chilled dish, so that's why it's important to get this done first, because if you don't get it done first, then you're gonna have hot shrimp still and all your stuff getting warm. You wanna make sure you get it into the fridge, chill it down while you're cutting all your vegetables. So I'm gonna get this going. I'm gonna pull out a little spoon here. Let's give this a little stir. Like I said, all we're doing is extracting the flavor out of all this shrimp. All right, we'll let that go, and we'll be back here in a minute. Let's go back and cut some vegetables. All right, we're back. So now we're gonna add the ingredients that we need to put into this cocktail to make it delicious. We're gonna go with Roma tomatoes. We got cucumber, nice and refreshing. Some avocados, some red onion. Also got some fresh jalapeno. And we're gonna do this a little different today. Cool little gadget. I like bringing out gadgets every once in a while. My wife hates it, but I love gadgets. But this thing's pretty cool because it's a little dicer, and you can change the dicing heads on this, so you can make it as thick as you want, as thin as you want. But instead of using this and cutting every little cube of this, I want to make this a lot easier, so you guys are going to get to see that too. So this thing was only like 15 bucks on Amazon, so literally to my door next day. The other thing I liked about it is, like, my brother, he generally sometimes cuts himself, so I got him one of these too, because I want to make sure that he doesn't slice his hand when he's cutting, because he scares the hell out of me. So we're going to make sure that this time it's a little safer. So first thing I'm going to start with is the tomatoes. So I don't know if you guys have ever seen one of these cool gadgets, but this is a watermelon baller, and then on the other side it has a tomato shark. You always wonder what that little thing was. It's pretty cool because you just put it right in the core of the tomato, you twist, bam, done. You don't have to worry about the core. So that comes out. We'll just take these out real quick. All right, so that's done. So then what we're gonna do is, to make this a little easier, you're just gonna cut it into the size that you kind of want it. So I'm not sitting here dicing all this. And then I'm just gonna put it right in here and then push, done. So you got your cubes ready to go. Some people say it's a cheating method, but guess what? We can make this so much faster and not have to worry about it. So no cutting your hand, no nothing like that. So we cut the rest of these tomatoes up and we'll get ready with the rest of the stuff. The nice thing about this thing too is once you're done chopping the stuff up, say you want to make a fresh salsa, you can make the salsa right in this and then put it in the refrigerator because this doubles as a lid too. So you don't have to worry about keeping it fresh. You can just pop it in there and when you're ready and you have people coming over, just pull it out of the fridge and it's ready to rock. I wish we had these when I was younger. That's for sure. So see how nicely I just cubed everything up there? Super easy. So we're gonna put that all into this little bowl here. Put the lid back on. And then we're gonna go in with some cucumbers. Gotta make sure you peel your cucumbers. This thing's pretty badass. We're gonna peel this. Tell you one thing too, for your ladies out there, my wife used to do this a lot. These cucumber peels, you get them and save them in a nice little baggie and put them in the refrigerator. Whenever you got a hot day and you want to come in and kind of put these on your eyes and your face, these things are awesome. They work wonders for your skin too. So now we want to take the seeds out of this guy. So I'm going to chop this guy here. We're going to come down the middle. And I'm just going to take my knife down here, right across the center, and just pull up. You can also use a spoon if you want to, but this is the easiest way for me to do it. So I've just been doing it this way for years. So I'm just gonna pull this guy up. Done. So now this guy, same thing, just cut it up into pieces where you can put it in here and chop. Oops, make sure the lid stays on. There we go. So you just seen how I just took like literally seconds to do this versus sitting here chopping little tiny pieces. It all comes out the same. So, all right. So now we got our cucumber in here. Add that all. The best thing I like about this thing as well is when you're doing onions. Oh my gosh, onions can make you cry. And this thing right here kind of helps alleviate some of that pain. So we're gonna go in with the red onion. You can use whatever kind of onion you like too. I like red onion just because it gives it some color and brightness. So the one thing about them too is they're definitely more pungent, so you want to make sure that you work quick. Take that outside skin off. We're gonna do this whole thing, so notice I'm not crying either. It's awesome. I don't know if you see my last video, but man, it's taking everything I could not to cry on that one. You live and you learn. All right. All right, we're good to go. Now we got the onions in there. I don't need this anymore because everything else I'm just gonna cut by hand. All right, so now you got all your, see how quick that was? Literally, it took me less than 2 minutes to do all that. We're gonna go on with our ingredients. So I'm using Clamato. Love this stuff because it does have the clam flavor to it as well as far as in tomato juice. The one thing you got to remember on this too, they make several different ones. So if you like this style, I kind of like to add my own flavors to it. They do make a picante one that's amazing too. So if you like a little spicy, you can also use that. But I'm gonna use this guy. Put it all in there. All right, and then instead of ketchup, I'm gonna go with paste picante sauce. I'm gonna use the medium one. You can use the hot if you like as well. I mean, just keep in mind the hot one when you do this recipe. I've done it before. It's spicy. So I don't know if you wanna make sure people are able to enjoy it, not sit there, because you can always add heat, you just can't take it out. So don't do that. All right, then we're gonna do some fresh cilantro here. Just a nice coarse chop, doesn't matter. Cilantro is amazing. Love the flavor. Some people don't like it, but I love it. You either love it or you hate it. It's one of the two I found. So I'm gonna put that in there. And we got some limes here. I'm gonna squeeze a couple limes in this. Nice little lime squisher here. I can smell those shrimp shells behind me. That's how you know you're getting the proper flavor. That's the key ingredient to this, is all that shrimp yumminess that's going on behind me. So we're gonna put all this in here. All right. So when we come back, I'm gonna show you how to add all this together. We're gonna cook our shrimp, so give me a few minutes. We'll be right back. So now we're back. We're gonna go ahead and, our shrimp shells are already done. So if you wanna take a look and see what this looks like, they're already nice and pink and ready to go. So I'm gonna take these and strain them because I wanna save this juice. So be very careful with this. It's super hot. Basically what I'm doing is taking these shells away so I can have just the juice. I'm gonna take these, I'm gonna go put them in the trash real quick. I'll be right back. All right, so now I'm gonna add my shrimp to this. Going in with all those shrimp. Then we're gonna go back to this, and we got this nice hot broth here. We're gonna go back in with. Shrimp don't take very long to cook, so you really don't, you kind of want to watch it. Sorry, to get that out. Because really you can overcook shrimp real easily. We don't want to overcook them. We want them to be nice and yummy and flavorful, but if you overcook them, they're just like rubber. They're not good. So we don't want to do that. But like I said, all this broth that we have in here is all the stuff that we're going to use. So by adding the shrimp back into the broth, obviously you're going to get so much more flavor. So that's what's nice about this, putting it back into the broth. Like I said, with this water being already pretty much boiling point, it's not going to take long. So you want to make sure that you're not going to overcook it. So I'd say you got about 2 minutes of cooking for this. While that's going on, I'm going to go ahead and grab something to stir the. Let's go with this guy. See our yummy stuff here. And we're going to go ahead and do some salt, pepper, garlic. That's all I use on mine. So we're gonna do a little dash of ceviche to get some flavor out here. I got some Himalayan salt, a little coarse brown black pepper, and a little bit of granulated garlic. Stir that around. smells delicious. All right, now go back to our shrimp. Notice they're turning pink already. So you see how the natural colors, they kind of have like a little natural thermometer in them. So we don't want to overcook them, but I just want to get them just right. So I'm gonna let them go for just a little bit longer, then we're gonna pull those guys. So while those are going too, I'm gonna get some other stuff out. The other thing I like putting in some little imitation crab, or however you like it. You can put whatever seafood you want in this too. I've had several different styles. Like I said, when I was in Texas, they put abalone in theirs, which is really yummy too, but we're just gonna cut some of this up too, put it in there. So this is already, ready to eat, so you don't have to worry about cooking it or anything like that, but it's just gonna add some yummy flavor to this. I'm just gonna add it in chunks. In there. Like I said, you can add as much as you want. Generally, I put about 12 ounces or so in there, depending on what thickness you want, how meaty you want your seafood. I'm gonna give that a stir real quick and see what we got going on here. Let's add a little bit more. All right, perfect. Now back to the shrimp. We're gonna go check that real quick to make sure what we got going on here. Oh yeah. So you'll notice on them too, not only are they pink, but you can kind of feel them too. They're firm to feel, they're not soft. These are cooked perfectly, so I'm gonna take them off now. We're gonna go back into this. Save as much of that juice as possible. So from here, I want to put this in the fridge for a little bit, let it cool down, because I don't want to add it directly to that hot. So I don't want to cook all my veggies and stuff that I have in there. So I want to put this in the fridge for a minute. A little space for it. There we go. All right, now back to our stuff here. So we got our crab in there, all mixed up. And then we got to add the 2 ingredients here. We got some jalapenos, some avocados. So on the jalapenos, you just want to take the veins and the seeds out. If you like it spicy, you can leave them in, but like I said, it's very hard to take spice out of stuff when you're cooking. So unless you have people that all like the same thing, or you're eating this whole thing by yourself, which I highly doubt, you kind of want to take as much of that out as possible. So let's go in there with all that. Notice I'm using gloves with this too, because I don't know about you, but if you ever wipe your eyes or anything like that when you just finish cutting jalapenos, it hurts. So I usually glove up for this kind of stuff. All right, good to go with the jalapenos. Now we're gonna do some avocado. And this is the reason why I don't want to add that in hot too, because avocados are not, you don't want them all mushy and everything like that. So I'm gonna take the pit out there. Just give it a twist. Go in with the pit. Just use the bottom of your knife. Turn. Be very careful. And what I do is I just come through, slice, Careful not to go all the way through. I'm gonna come across. I'm using the skin as like a feeler to know when to stop. So as soon as I feel that skin, I stop pushing, because if not, it's gonna go straight through my hand. Don't want that. If you're a beginner, don't try this. I'll show you another way how to do it. Okay. Grab a spoon. So a spoon like this works really good. So we're just gonna go right into the bottom here, go around, and boom, got your avocados out. Same with this guy, go through, come around, got your avocado, there you go. So if you don't do that, like I said, this is a good way to do it as well. Just come through, pull that avocado out. Put them down like that so they're safe for you, and you can go straight through. Just like that. A lot safer. So if you're a beginner, use this method. All right. Now, I'm going to give this a good mix. Notice how thick it is. We kind of want that consistency, because once we add the shrimp broth in there, it's going to thin it down a little bit. But at this point in time, we kind of want to taste it for flavor and see if we need to add a little bit more salt or pepper, or maybe a little bit more lime. Keep in mind, people want to add their own citric acid to it, so if they want to add a little lime at the end, we can do that. So I'm just going to give it a little taste real quick, see where we're at. Delicious. I just need a little bit more salt. All right, that is good to go. We're gonna clean up a little bit, and then we're gonna come back and I'm gonna show you how to present this to your friends and family that are coming over, and then we're gonna eat. Be back in a minute. All right, we're back. So now we got our shrimp cooled down. We got everything mixed in here, so now we're gonna go in here with this nice yummy broth. Add our shrimp to it. Like I said, the broth is made for this. That's what we want in it. So we're gonna put as much as we want to I kind of add it as I need it. I'm just gonna put the shrimp in there with some of it, and then I'm gonna stir this around and see if it's the right consistency I want, and then we'll go from there. We'll add some more if we need to. But you can see how much flavor it drew out of the shrimp just by looking at the broth. That was just regular water just not too long ago. Now we got shrimp broth, so there we go there. Let's stir this around. Like I said, this will change the salt content too, because there's no salt in that at all. It's just the shrimp. So if you need to add a little more salt, you can do that as well. All right, that looks delicious. Add more of this broth here. I want it to go to waste. Whenever you're making soups too, if you ever have any kind of like seafood soups or anything like that, and you want to bring flavor to it, best thing you can do is save those shells or save the fish bones or something like that, and cook it down and get all that flavor into the seafood soup. That's a big secret on some of my soups. All right, so from there, we're gonna go ahead and give it a try again. Make sure if I need to adjust the salt content, I can. Doesn't need it, it's perfect. So now we're gonna dish it up. Couple cool ways to do it. I'm gonna use this little martini glass I have, just for, you got people coming over, you want to impress them. These are cool little glasses to use. Make sure you get some of those beautiful shrimp on there. Perfect. All right, I'm gonna put that on top of this plate here. I'm gonna use some of these Tostitos hints of lime. They're awesome. You can also use like regular tortilla chips or anything like that. I like the hint of lime because it gives it a good flavor. We're gonna go with some of these on the plate. Perfect. All right. I'm gonna cut a couple limes here. These are some garnish here. On top there. Gorgeous. And then take these gloves off. Last but not least, gotta enjoy it with a good beer. So we got Corona today. Add a little bit of lime in there. And salute.